So, clothing is one of the most intimate materials in our life. It touches our skin every day. And it has become the most disposable products in the social economy as well. Globally, around 92 million tons of clothing is discarded every year, and less than 1% of clothing is recycled into new garments. That means they all go directly into landfills. At the same time, producing textiles require enormous resources like water, energy, chemicals, and labor. But this is not how textiles originally worked. Before fashion became a global industry, cloth was part of a local system, ecosystem. So farmers grew cotton, the dyers working with the plants for the dyes, weavers creating fabric slowly by hand, and communities caring for their garments for years. Can you go back to that time and just visualize it? It feels really good to slow down and experience that. So today's conversation is about a deeper question. How did cloth move from something that was valued, inherited, and repaired to something we just throw away? So let's get into the discussion. And I would like to take even a second to just thank you for being here, because you've all come from different parts of Maitri's come from Kochi, Mamata ma'am has come from Udupi, and sir has come from Bangalore. So I thank you all for taking the time to be here, and it's our pleasure to have you here. So moving on to the way today's fashion system works, from being take, make, use, and dump. We take what we have, we make something out of it, use it, and then just throw it away. So what are the environmental or social consequences you see when clothing becomes disposable rather than valued? So starting off with Mr. Madhu, when people throw away clothes, we want to understand what really happens to these, especially in cities, because it is more like an invisible waste that is created. Nobody really knows or sees it much. So if you can tap on that.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, honorable dignitaries on the dais, and I think everybody had lunch, and it's a drowsing time right now, but we will not make you little bit drowse so that we can have a live discussion with you all. As she told that waste, if we close our eyes and we can dream for a minute that we are having a clean city without no plastics or nothing on the roads, clean water without any spillage in the river. And if we dream of that, in between that one, we think of only the waste. Waste, nowadays, each person is generating almost around, according to the Mangalore itself, each person is generating 500 grams to 550 grams as per the Mangalore scenario. If you go on towards the Karnataka as well as the Indian scenario, almost around 350 grams per capita of waste is being generated. Out of which, alone India is generating almost around 7.9 million tons of textile waste. Textile waste, 7.9 million tons. Actually, India, going on with the textile industries, they are manufacturing almost around $179 billion of textile from India, which is almost around 2% of the GDP, of Indian GDP, where after exporting, almost around 8 to 8.5% of the textile is being exported. Within that, the industry, whatever they manufacture, it is manufactured with different graded and different blended materials, so that the waste which we are receiving at the municipal level, you can see the collection system within Mangalore as well as within Karnataka, where the collection system is similar throughout the entire India. But nowadays, whatever the waste that we are receiving, the textile waste is not being segregated properly. It is been mixed with the dry waste, or some portion is mixed with the wet waste. Textile, as of now, has not got any rules, or nothing has been added right now. In 2000, in October 2025, Government of India has come up with the rule 2026 solid waste management rules. So that will be coming in the month of April. From 1st of April, it will be implemented throughout India. So that they have come up with 4 mandatory segregation platform. So that the main principle is to have the circular economy with all the products. So the waste that is being generated within the city has to be reused, recycled, or that can be remanufactured and regenerated throughout the system, so that it can have a circular circular economy, so that the economy can be generated. The waste that, for the Bangalore scenario, what we are saying, I worked for almost 15 years in Bangalore. During that period, whatever the Bangalore at the present scenario is almost around 350 to 380 tons of waste is being generated. It is collected on a daily basis. Dry waste is separated, wet waste is separated at the landfill, where after segregation also only around 65% of the waste is being processed and disposed. And the remaining 35% is going to the landfill directly, where the maximum quantity is plastics as well as the textile material. The textile is not being separated and disposed. Not been separated, and as well as the not been recycled. The waste in Mangalore has got high potential, because Aloysius institution last 2-3 years back, in the year 2023 I think, we had a big campaign throughout Mangalore, so that the textile material was collected from each and every households. That was distributed throughout Dakshin Kannada. With the Paura Karmikas.
Yes. Yeah. So one more thing with the textile waste is that with the fast fashion, it's very difficult to segregate it, as we are all wearing blended materials. So not me exactly, but I'm just saying, because I'm just looking at myself and I'm like, but anyways, when we're looking, especially in the younger generations, they are opting stylish, modern outfits where everything is blended. So which makes it very difficult to recycle. So I understand, why the system of textile recycling is not in place, because it can't be recycled so easily. But Mamata ma'am, if I want you to understand, what happens to these traditional weaving knowledge and the artisan livelihoods when these clothes are mass produced and when fast fashion is existing? How does it affect them?
First of all, namaskara to all. I'm very happy to be part of this Bangalore Design Summit, and thanks to Ohana community and Aloysius College for this opportunity. As you bring into the subject, as you all know, the traditional handloom weaving, which doesn't use electricity, is slow, time-consuming process. It involves lots of people in various stages like farmers, dyers, preloom workers, winders, and of course the weavers. And but fast fashion, which is a mass-produced, made use of machines, power looms, and it uses synthetic, low quality of products also. So it has put pace and price pressure on the traditional weavers. So naturally, many traditional weavers forced to leave the profession. Many became power loom weavers, and many became power loom weavers, and some also entirely shift from the profession. They moved to other profession. And these weavers started very young age, start learning, and they don't have any other skills. And they were forced to do daily wage labors, which doesn't require any skills. And most of these weavers did not transfer their knowledge to their children also. For example, when we started...
You have an example here, because I belong to the weaving community, and I can see that nothing was passed on, and we could have taken it somewhere if it was.
Yeah, you are from the weavers community. Yes. So for example, when we started revival work in 2018 here in Udupi and Dakshina Kannada, there were only 45 aged weavers, and none of their children had learned the profession. Most of them, and when their skills, almost once they stop, there is no continuation of their skill. And also along with this traditional knowledge, weaving skills, others auxiliary skills also were disappeared, like making a fiber from which is required for a brush,
Yes.
which is used to apply the starch, and a special device to create the design. All those skills have diminished. Yes. And for example, a few months ago, I visited Guled Gudda, where they make GI tagged Kana weaves. Okay. There I met two senior artisans, not weavers. One of them make a design which create intricate design in the Guled Gudda Kana, on the body it has very intricate designs. Okay. So he has prepared a special Adobe kind of device which create special design. And there is one more lady, senior lady, she makes a special kind of heel, extra heel, which gives special lifting mechanism. Together, this special device and this special heel create an intricate design on the Kana, the handloom Kana weaves. Yes. But unfortunately, there are only two of them. Yes. And their skill required only in the beginning of creating a new design or during the setting of new loom. And once they set that loom, next 4 or 5 years, their skills not required. And in that village, now in that city, there are only few handloom weavers are present, and more than 1,000 weavers are practicing using power looms. And once they stop doing this work, because they are very aged, there is no, after, maybe now they won't realize, but after 4 or 5 years, now they can, maybe they have designed some loom. After 4 or 5 years, there is no skilled experts who could create these designs. So these handloom weavers should, naturally, they have to stop using that. Yes. And also, no one their children not ready to learn this, because this skill is required very infrequently, once in 4 or 5 years like that. And only, except 1 or 2, none is bothered who care about craft, skill, environment problem, climate crisis. One more example I can give, that you heard about desi cotton, which is very climate resilient and need very less water to cultivate. The big complaint on cotton is it uses lots of water, right? But this desi cotton doesn't require, it is even drought prone areas also it can be grown. And there is the effort is being made to convince farmers to grow these desi cotton. And many are ready to agree to grow and also started growing also. And also there are weavers who could weave using yarns, desi cotton yarns. But unfortunately, over the period of time, we have lost the skill and tools which are used to convert desi cotton or extract yarns from the desi cotton. Yes. Because desi cotton, the length of filament is very small compared to our BT cotton, etc. So we are, but still, and we need a large effort to bring back those skills also. But the scenario is not completely devastating. In our own experience, we have shown that if you put out of passion and if you put lots of effort, it is possible to revive dying crafts. In our own example, in Udupi Sari, we were able to revive the craft, and now younger generations are the knowledge from the senior weavers. They have luckily on time transferred to the younger generation. Yes. They are continuing the tradition.
Yes. I know the impact that, when you hear it, it creates. So while ma'am has been working with the different artisans, there is Maitri who is trying to bring, to connect with the youngsters on how repair is cool and it's not boring. So from seeing your work, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is getting lost in terms of culturally or emotionally attaching with the textiles, being, seeing it as a disposable commodity? What's your take on it? Because you can see that people are throwing away a lot of clothes, but you are the person who's coming back with, how to repurpose, repair it and, use it. So what's your take on that?
Firstly, thank you everyone for being here right after lunch. It's not at all intimidating to be sitting here on stage in front of so many people. And so many interesting insights. I'm glad I'm carrying my notebook and just jotting down things. From my very limited experience, and I'm saying limited because I'm sure you both have a lot more experience than I do in this space, I'll start with giving some examples about certain crafts and how it has just sort of had a very individual level effect on people, right? So I traveled to this small village in Rajasthan near Udaipur. It's a Jain merchant village. So these people have all also migrated out of that village, yeah? Nobody really lives there, very few people really live there. But they have massive, gorgeous mansions there. And every time I went into one of these mansions, there will be very new, modern, sometimes very garish decor. But there will always be this one very gorgeous wooden box, very ornate, but like a shelf, not a small box, like a big shelf. So I got curious and I asked them what it was. And the story behind that is so interesting. They said that every merchant would have a very personal relationship with one woodworker in that community, and they would get a safe built for them, for their house. Now this safe is not just one lock that you open. It's a puzzle box. There is some multiple locking systems in it, which you have to use to finally open that. And only 2 people in the world know how to open that box. One is the merchant himself, and the second is the karigar who made it. That is the level of trust and the kind of relationship that these people build with their karigars, with the craftspeople, to be able to create something like this for them. Now, if we come to something that's a bit more recent, which maybe all of us might have experienced sometime in our lives, tailors, right? We would go to tailors, we would have a specific tailor who would stitch trousers, shirts, specific for blouses, specific for dresses, specific for kurtas, right? We've all had that. Why? We have that loyalty with that person because one, yes, they have the skill, they understand you, but they also know you so well. They know all your insecurities. They know which part of your body needs to be camouflaged. And so you would need a certain neckline and a certain sleeve and a certain fit, right? That relationship is built over years. And when we start just going to a mall and picking up a piece from a rack that may fit you in that moment, you might like it for those 5 seconds that you have tried it on in the really long queue because everyone's waiting outside. You've done that really fast, you've made that decision like that. But going to a tailor with a piece of fabric, you have thought about this. When you were buying the fabric, you thought about what you want to make with it, which tailor will be perfect for it, and then you go and you tell this person that I want so and so. They will give you suggestions on what is better with this fabric. You get something that means something to you because you spend time creating it too. That's what I'm trying to bring back with this idea of repair, where if you spend even 15-20 minutes of your time doing something with your own hands, and that's not just about clothing, right? That's just anything, any skill, any craft that you pick up. You might have done the most mediocre job with it, but you will love that piece so much just because you have spent time and energy on it, right? I'll give you another example on what is another thing that we're losing here in this process. How many of us know what Fulkari embroidery is? Can we have like a show of hands? So Fulkari embroidery is a traditional embroidery form that's practiced in Punjab, and it's done by women. Traditionally, they would all meet in courtyards in one person's house. You know, all the women from the neighborhood would come together in one person's courtyard, sit together and embroider and sing songs. These songs were songs of freedom, of pain, of all the horrors that they have seen during the partition, of everything that affected them day to day, you know, of maybe things like forbidden love. You're not allowed to go with a Muslim person, and the Muslim person is not allowed to go with a Sikh person, all of those things, right? There are songs for everything, but we have lost that. It's not just that the music came with the community, it's that the music also created the rhythm that you could use to do the embroidery. So when you lose that, and when you have craftspeople who have to now compete with something like fast fashion and create really fast, they're not following their rhythm. They're not following what their muscles are okay to do. They are rushing to match something, right? So what we're losing is, we're losing community, we're losing a sense of belonging, we're losing a very deep connection to our own clothing and also to the people around us.
And to the people who make it as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Because they are all the people who are around us.
Yes.
We have now, because of the process of urbanization and craftspeople having predominantly remained in a rural space,
areas.
we have moved away from that space and become an other.
Yes.
But there wasn't such a thing, right? We all coexisted in the same space.
Yes, yes. So, how does reviving traditions like Udupi saris actually help to, rebuild the local ecosystem around textiles? How has it kind of helped other people as well when it comes to reviving their own fabrics and textiles?
Actually, our revival journey, actually I can give the example of our second project.
Yeah.
Bagali. After the successful revival of Udupi Sari, seeing the success, few youngsters in a remote village near Bainduru, Hussair village, they request us to conduct a training program for them. There are many women, most of them came from tribal communities. They didn't have access to transport facility. They wanted no job opportunity for them. So there was one weaver who came, she's also from tribal community. She participated in our training program and started working there. Seeing her success, they also request us, please organize a training program for us. Yeah. So because their number is very less, around 9 to 10 people, so we couldn't get any government support for the project. So with our own fund, we started the training program for them in a small space of that weaver's house on the rooftop. So, and these women, most of them are they are the youngest lot come in these two districts at the age group of 20 to 30. They eagerly participated in the training program for more than 6 months. Some of them traveled more than 5 kilometers to participate even during the heavy rain season, and also there is a fear of attack from cheetahs and all. Amidst all these, they pursued and participated in the training program. Now after more than 2 years, all of them have become a very skilled artisans. And more than that, they have understood, because of this training skill they learned, they understood that it's not done by, that work is not by a single person. They need an entire community to work together. So these late girls, they work together in a pre-loom works and other processes, and they feel very proud to be part of because they are all first generation weavers. They have never seen the looms. They are, and now they feel proud to create their own fabrics. So, and also not only here, this is in through our journey, even other locations also. Many people are approaching me after seeing that, because we are using the social media to tell our stories and revival journey. And many artisans and from other region also got inspired and to see the support the weavers get, this kind of support, and they want to continue. And even the departments, government departments also, those who are in touch with us, they are now showing some interest in supporting the artisans. So it has our revival journey definitely had a positive impact on others also.
Yes. So it's very difficult to see students coming with passion projects nowadays because everything is rushed out. We know with our own art walk experience where students began with so much enthusiasm. At the end, they got distracted with their projects. So we are like, what are their intentions and what are their passions? What are they really looking forward to get in place? So bringing the youth forward is, I think, the best way to move forward because they are the next generation who's going to take it forward. And apart from the artisans and the local communities, there is a social stigma around waste pickers. So Ms. Madhu can definitely say a lot about how their livelihood is and how it is connected.
Coming on to the waste pickers, earlier in Mangalore itself, we started with a group of waste pickers being selected within the city limits.
Local city.
Local city, within the city limits, by picking the waste pickers on the field, where around 25 people were picked within the city, and then we shifted them to one site at Pachanadi. So at that site, we made a dry waste collection center. Whatever the waste that we received at the site was shifted to to the dry waste collection center, where daily 25 people used to segregate the waste. Segregate the waste in the sense means daily we were receiving around 110 tons of dry waste. 110 tons. Each person can segregate only 1 ton. 1 ton, maximum 1 ton. Minimum around 300 to 500 kgs each person can segregate, up to maximum of 2 to 3 categories, like plastic separate, textile separate, and the metals and the whatever the other remaining separate. 3 categories they used to separate. Plastics was removed, and then it was shredded, and it was converted into lumps, where the lumps was used for road making, interlock bricks, and other materials. But the textile was, we were transporting it into Bangalore, where textile, actually there is a TRF center in Bangalore. It was started in 2022. The TRF center, the textile recovery facility, where when I went to Bangalore in 2000, during the COVID period, after the COVID period in 2021, at that time, actually there was a lady, she was working for dry waste collection center. At that time, she was made as an operator. Operator in the sense, entire dry waste collection center was handed over to her so that she can operate. She had around 10 workers under her. Afterwards, she was having a major problem to dispose the textile waste. The plastic, metals, paper, cardboard, everything was sold. Yes. But the textile material, it was very difficult for her to sell it. Nobody was ready to purchase. So it was a major headache for that. So there was a discussion within Bangalore, one of the NGOs, Hasirudala.
Who are in fact here with us.
Okay. They are involved in that, where they have trained her, and then now she is running the separate TRF center, the name Surya I think, Surya Center. She is almost in the year 2023-24, she has almost collected around 41 tons of textile waste, and the textile waste wherever that they have selected, and they used to have a, during Dasara time, the construction workers, laborers used to come there to pick the cloths, means it's like a, what do you say, means wherever we go, we get, in Mangalore, we used to have a Saturday fair. Saturday evening, they used to come and put the cloths on the roads near town hall. Same kind of thing was happening in Bangalore, where it was full of people, construction workers and other people. Almost around 3 to 4 tons of cloths were sold on the same day itself. So that kind of thing was arranged. The same thing can be done in Mangalore also. So the rack pickers and the officials, and they should have a policy within the government body. So in municipal act, they've got their own bylaw. They can make their own bylaw so that dry waste collection centers or the textile waste collection centers can be made. And then that textile, instead of going directly to the landfill, that can be donated. Means we can give the donation in the beginning, and afterwards we can distribute, and then we can send it for recycling. Yes. So that can be done here also.
Yes. So now in the age of digital, and where people are losing connections, being in the same room, we would be looking at the screen, right? Even in families and even in friend circles when we meet. So how is this textile or this kind of an activity of mending, how is it kind of emotionally connecting people, and how are you able to do this? Because we had a workshop today morning, so she was demonstrating it as well. So what do you think is the scope of this in the future for people to disconnect, slow down? Do you think it is already being seen, and is it already existing right now?
So I feel like we've come to a point where, especially the younger people who are now, in the workforce, we have a lot of emotions and we have nowhere to express them. We have no place to go where we can actually just let out and express what we're feeling. And I started realizing this when I first started FIR, and I sent out messages to a lot of friends and family saying that if you have something, please bring it to me so that I can create something special for you on your piece of clothing. And I had given them an example of one piece that I had made for myself, which was just this skirt that it was probably one of the first things that I had designed for myself, and it got a really bad stain on it. All over, like patches of different stains. And I legit cried about it for 2-3 days. Oh my God, I had made this dress with so much love, now it's gone, what to do? Finally, I embroidered on top of it. I did some applique and embroidery, and I covered up all of those things, and it looks gorgeous, okay? If I may say so myself. But the thing is, it's not just that it looks pretty, right? There was a story behind it. This skirt, when I made this skirt, it was a blue-colored georgette skirt. It flows around, it's quite beautiful. When I made it, it was supposed to mimic the feeling of being in water. And I have this, I think a lot of us have this. I'm sure you all being in Mangalore also have this connection with water, right? It just calms you down. It gives you a lot of peace. And so I wanted to bring that feeling into that piece even more. And I had a small little pond sort of a thing in my house, made in one gamla. And there were just like small guppies and fish and things like that in it. And I used to spend hours just watching them, right? So I recreated that on top of the skirt that I made, yeah? After this, if you all have time, you can come and see it. It's there on the stall, so you can actually see what it looks like. So I shared this as a story, that this is what's possible, right? You can actually bring a lot of meaning into the piece that you're wearing. Now, if I wear that skirt, I just genuinely feel very peaceful. So I wear it on days when I'm angry. I'm kidding. So when I shared this with people, I had a lot of people coming to me saying, hey, you know what? I did scuba diving recently, and it just completely changed my perspective towards the world, and now I want to capture that. Can I have it on one of these very basic dresses that I have, which I don't wear anymore because it's basic, right? I've had someone come and tell me that they lost their father couple of years ago, and they had still not been able to process the grief because there was no way for them to do it. There was no time for them to do it. And so working with me on this piece where every now and then we would just reach out and say, hey, I've made this one thing, what do you think about it? Do you like the colors? Do you want to change something about it? Just doing that has helped them remember a lot of good memories, has helped them now preserve all of that and keep with them. So now, it's been, I think, 3 years since I made those pair of pants, and this person is a good friend of mine, and he's like, I don't fit into this anymore, bro, what to do? And I'm like, okay, we'll make something else out of it. He's like, no, right now it looks very nice, keep it like this. So now for a couple of years, he's just going to try and fit into it. And then eventually he'll come back to me and say, okay, now let's make something else out of it. But it's too precious now for it to be thrown away. And you won't believe the number of times that happens, that they are more often than not fast fashion pieces that come to me. And I'm so happy that there's fast fashion pieces, because you probably spent very little actually buying those pieces. And so for you to come back to me and say you want to make something special out of it means like you really have the intent there, right? Now, when it comes to actually doing this yourself, what I'm talking about is custom pieces where I'm doing the work and you're part of the process of actually putting together that design, right? Or the story behind it. But when it comes to actually doing this, there is enough and more research that shows that if you are creating something with your own hands, you are just completely present in that moment, right? So when you're doing that, and I used to be like, yeah, I have found my meditative practice, which is to do embroidery. I'm sure some of you will absolutely hate doing it. Like I cannot do knitting for the life of me. But there are a lot of people who love doing knitting. My mom has told me the story once about how she was really angry with somebody, and then overnight she knitted a sweater because that's what helped her take out her rage, right? These are ways to process our emotions. And if we're not creating with our own hands, we're not literally just releasing that energy from our body into something else. Then it goes where it goes. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So moving on to one quick session where you can give one advice to the designers here. And how many designers do we have in the house? Oh, see, a lot of them. Okay, so what would be one designer advice that you can give from your side of expertise in how they move forward, designing, producing, or thinking about clothing to reduce textile waste? So, are there anybody here working with textiles? Are we having a lot of architectures? Yes, we have one. Thanks. Yes. So is there something you can give as a quick advice on, because we want to design, because this entire event is about designing, how can we design while keeping in mind about the waste side of it? Like, it's not about what you're creating today, but what happens to you after it is used and used.
Actually, coming on to the design, actually architecture's students are there majorly.
Yes.
In designing, we can have the project on RDF, whatever the textile material is there, that can be shredded, and that can be utilized for means we have projects on converting that one into a tails. The cloths can be converted to tails, and that can be used interiors, for the interiors. So many things have been done. And also we should not think that waste is not a garbage. It can be converted into, it can be thought as a resource, so that whatever the waste is there, that can be utilized for each and everything. Even the plastics can be utilized for interlock bricks, even the floorings, roof structures. So many things have been done by the municipality, but we don't have that much of skills within our municipal limits, but also we are carrying out those things using so many unskilled workers, means the Paura Karmika workers and other things. Even the recent generation can take up such activities, so that that can be utilized. Because the industry at the industrial stage itself, almost around 35 to 40% of the textile waste is being generated, where that waste is almost 25% is being reused, and the remaining waste is going to the landfill or the incineration. Instead of going directly to the landfill or incineration, that can be utilized in different products. So that can be research can be made on that, and that can be utilized for different activities.
We need to tap into the life cycle of the fabric, from the time it's made to what it's made, and then to the time we can discard.
We can say that earlier, my grandfather's time, he was having a shirt or something else. If he is not wearing it, means if size is not happening, then his son is going to wear it. If son is not going to wear it, then his grandson will be wearing it. If his grandson is also not going to wear it, then that will be utilized in the kitchen to hold the hot pots. And that is also not there, then used to floor mat. That can also be used. So many things were being used earlier. Now we are thinking of only throwaway culture, so that everything is going to the landfills. So that can be reduced and reused.
Definitely. What would your advice be?
As a natural, can you hear me? As a natural dyer and person working with the handloom artisans, my request to designers is to use natural material with natural fiber, naturally dyed. Because even we use, when we manufacture natural materials or using handloom, so there is no fossil fuel involved, no greenhouse gas emissions. And also in synthetic fibers or in a cheap, we can, when we talk about, even you talk about recycling, repurposing, and when you use synthetic fibers, with chemically dyed synthetic fibers, even you repurpose it, it eventually slowly release microplastics into the environment, and it finally comes back to us. So I request you to, as much as possible, even I know it's expensive because many people are involved. But because of many people are involved, so you are giving livelihood to, you are sharing what you have with the people. together, other people also. And also, when you use a synthetic, already we know we have manufactured enough clothes that are sufficient for next 6 generations.
Yes,
So
yes.
when you buy, okay, when you use already existing, okay, you can use any kind of materials. But if you are going to buy a new materials, please go into natural materials.
Yes,
That's
yes,
my humble
that's a
request.
great advice for the youngsters. I hope you all take that forward. Yes, Maitri, what would yours?
I would say I was told for a long time that I overthink things a lot, and I've done all of that overthink, and then only now I'm here. So
So please overthink.
please overthink everything, but don't second guess yourself. Try out new things. Keep questioning is what I would say. Like if you are starting a clothing brand or any business at all, and you want to be sustainable, then yes, use natural materials, do all of that, but then just that is not enough, and it's not the end of the world, right? You do that and then you add one seed paper tag and then you call yourself sustainable. No, that's not how it works. Sustainability is not like this one ceiling. You can put one step ladder and you climb and you reach. That's not how it works. You have to keep improving. There is always ways to keep improving. So keep questioning that. What material am I using? What's happening with the waste that I generate? What's happening to the people who are working in my supply chain? What is happening to each and every single one of them? If I am growing today and if I am able to pay myself better as a designer, then is the artisan who's working with me also getting paid better in the process? If that's not happening, you are not sustainable. I'm sorry to say that. Because there is when we talk about sustainability, there's 3 pillars, right? There's the environment, there's the economy, and then there's the people. So if the people are you're not bringing up your people along with you as you are on this journey, then there is no point of it. Like by the end of it, your tailor should be able to, afford health insurance. Like you should be able to do those things. So I would say keep pushing, no matter what, and keep learning, keep yourself curious. Maybe like 5 years back, I would have thought I have nothing to learn from somebody like Madhu sir, but I do. I will always have something to learn from absolutely anybody doing anything in any part of the world. So stay curious and keep sort of learning and imbibing what you can from that into your process, into your design thinking.
Yes. So as Maitri says about questioning, who has a question to shoot here? Anybody ready with their questions? Yes. Please.
My question is to Madhu Manohar, Environmental Officer, Mangalore City Corporation. Is it right? So the thing is, as you know, anything? Yeah, okay. The thing is, the solid waste what we are collecting in Mangalore City Corporation, it ultimately goes and gets dumped in Pachanadi. So there is nothing, no segregation, nothing is being done. One point. Then what preparation are you making for the solid waste management rules 2026, which are going to be implemented by the end of this month, 1/4/2026, please?
One query on that. Actually, I was working in Mangalore City Corporation till 2021. After that, I have been transferred to Bangalore, Puttur, and now I'm working in Kolar. According to Mangalore, presently they are receiving around 350 to 380 tons of garbage daily, on a daily basis. Presently, there is one technology that has been adopted in Mangalore, that is Entoprotein. Entoprotein is a company who are using black soldier fly for wet waste composting. Almost around 90 to 100 tons of waste is being composted using black soldier fly. Means if you keep your waste in your house, wet waste in your house for 7 days, you will see a maggots or a worm growing on that waste. The same methodology has been adopted in the Pachanadi site, and almost that is being carried out since 2020 till 2026. That is 100 tons of waste. And the remaining 109 tons, 110 tons of dry waste is being separated in 4 different locations where the dry waste is going to dry waste collection centers. And almost around 25 tons in each dry waste collection centers. I come to your point. And the remaining 150 tons is going directly to the landfill site. 150 tons. Because there is no sufficient methodology that has been adopted till now. And also they are proposing for the legacy waste. Already the legacy waste has been started and they are carrying out almost 1 lakh tons of waste has been cleared from that site. 1 lakh tons of garbage has been cleared, out of which the RDF, that is plastic, paper, textile, whatever the waste that is being segregated, that is being sent to cement industry for incineration. So that has been cleared. Regarding 2026 SWM rules, actually they are going for 4 different segregation format. That is dry, wet, sanitary and special waste. 4 categories are going to be done. But Mangalore city can't do individually because the workers has to be educated and then they have to collect the waste. But the citizens and the community has to get involved in the segregation at the source level. Without doing at the source level, they can't segregate at the end point. Because if you segregate 1 kg of waste in your house, then we can't segregate 100 tons or 200 tons at our site. That is a difficult part. I told in the beginning itself, each person can segregate only 300 to 500 kg. That is the maximum per day. That is the maximum. Only 25 workers are there. That too outsourced workers. They can't work for 12 hours or 14 hours a day. They can work only around 6 to 8 hours. Within that, they are segregating. So now state government and the central government has funded for material recovery facility. Around 4 material recovery facilities are coming up with a big scale up to around 100 tons. So once it is set up, immediately whatever the unsegregated materials are there, that will pass through material recovery facility where it can be segregated up to 8 categories. 8 categories of waste will be segregated and that can be cleared. So that will go directly to the recyclers as well as the RDF will go to the cement industry.
So as on date, there are no material recovery facility, as we admitted. So that is
material
why,
recovery.
one minute, we made 4 teams and went throughout the city and followed the vehicles. Ultimately, none of the vehicles, because there is no material recovery facility, as just admitted by you. So there is no material MRFs established. So naturally, it will go to Pachinadi. And you know what will happen in Pachinadi, we know very well. It is already an NGT case. And what is the compensation awarded, and those things are there, and how so many houses were destroyed and their livelihoods were destroyed, how the river water, polluted water is flowing into the Palguni river. These are all on record, so you can't deny that. So there is explicitly no segregation. It is segregation on the part of
Sir, I'll conclude this one.
1 minute, I'll conclude. There is segregation on the part of the citizens. It is the Mangalore City Corporation which is not segregating. It is accumulating everything and dumping in Pachinadi. This is the fact. Now, at least in 2026...
That can't be put only on the Mangalore City Corporation. Right, it is the part of the citizens. They have to segregate and hand it over. Citizens are not doing.
Citizens are doing their work because only on one day they are giving the dry waste. You know that? Only on Saturday, Friday. So that naturally there is segregation. Okay. So other day everyone is giving the wet waste. So there is no blame on the citizens. It is the Mangalore City Corporation which has so far from 2016 till date has not established material recovery facility MRF. That, as you just now admitted, your new
so material recovery facility. The government has sanctioned the material recovery facility in the year 2024, and the tender has been floated and the process is going on. The construction is going on. Already 4 to 5 material recovery facilities are going to be established in Mangalore. Already the process is going on right now.
I think that's a very passionate discussion that we've been having and will continue to have because sustainability is very complex. There are many moving parts, many narratives that come together. And so we thank you for being open and listening to each other to have that discussion. And we do need to move on to the next session, but I'd hand it back to Alka to close.
So clothes, coming back to clothes and textiles, cloth has been something more than a product. It's been about labor, culture, identity, and memory. Perhaps the future of sustainable fashion is not only about the new technology, but about rediscovering our older relationships with materials where clothing was cared for, repaired, and valued. So I hope we all take this notion home and value what we already have before we think about purchasing new items or moving to, in the future when it comes to anything related to textiles. But thank you so much. I know it has been a tough time having this session post-lunch, but I hope you enjoyed the conversations, and the panelists are definitely open to your questions on a personal note. We will move on to the next session.
And before that, thank you, Alka, thank you, Maitri, Mamta, and Manohar. Sorry, I have not slept. But, it's conversations like these that reminds us of the choices that we all make, the choices of the individuals, the choices of our institutions and corporations. Everything is a choice that we have made because of multiple factors. And so thank you for bringing all of that forward, from the emotional attachment to the functional aspects and the policy. We really appreciate what you've brought to this stage. And as a small token of our appreciation for sharing your time, knowledge, and perspectives with us today, we would like to present each of you with a memento from the Mangaluru Design Summit. May I request Alka to please present these to... Yes, please stand. No, we haven't taken a group picture. Group picture after plans. And could I ask each of you to stand up and they'll take a group picture? So it's immortalized in digital. Center, center.